hiring like lobbyists per se, but because that is a really expensive endeavor. But we really feel that because of our past experience and where we are right now, that we're really poised to really reignite those conversations, raise them higher. First being, the Canada Council for the Arts. We want to go back there and really get them to either, add us on the drop down menu when you create a profile on the website, because from everything they've told us, there was even a symposium that happened with CASC and Canada Council to encourage comedians to apply. Recently, a comedian applied and couldn't get past the first couple of pages. So that's a really big issue. And one of maybe the bigger issues really is that we need peer assessors. So we need comedians to become peer assessors, so that when the applications come in, that there are peers there to evaluate them. And that, I think, has really been one of the biggest barriers. So we're going to provide a link for anyone out there who's interested to do that. We really need a lot of people getting involved in that way. That's really one of the biggest parts of this Canada Council for the Arts lobbying effort, is to get our peer assessors in there. The other people that we're like, what we plan to do is sort of visit the same people that we visited the last time, which was the Department of Trade through I'm just going to get the exact, it was the Department of Trade through Canada Heritage, because in 2020 we were supposed to go to Europe, because one of the big efforts that I really wanted to keep getting involved in was to create like a highway between here and the rest of the world, essentially. That is an effort to promote, to brand Canadian comedy, instead of just I know we all want to go to the States, but that's very difficult. And of course we want to go there, but what if instead we really kind of make real strong efforts to go to other parts of the world, and build our profiles that way, that's supported, and really to tell the world that Canada is a comedy nation. And this was something that the Department of Heritage really loved when we spoke to them about it. So we want to keep that conversation going. And Joe is going to talk more about this, but for example, CanCom, the foundation that we started, that they started handing out funds. They're about to hand out some more funds. So it's about going back to Ottawa, showing them like, look, these are all the things that we've done. We're a viable economic engine in the country, and we're just going to keep building it from there. So we're going to be getting in touch with various departments in the next couple of months and plan a trip and get this whole thing rolling once again. I think that's about, the Department of Finance. That was another big effort that group that we met with, and they wanted us to do, what they were saying to us was like, you need to prove the economic viability of comedy in Canada. So we did do an economic study in Ontario. So we do have the groundwork to show, okay, this is the economics behind comedy. So once we can show that throughout the entire country, it's just going to mean more money. And ultimately, this is what comedians in this country need. We need money to fund our tours, to fund our albums, because right now it's pretty meager. It's pretty, it doesn't feel very. There's a lot going on, especially when you look at the broadcast, what's being done, what's being made. Not much is being made, So what we've always modeled ourselves after music, after the music industry. And, a lot of people know the story, but in the 70s, musicians were being played on the radio and not being paid. And then a group of people got together and lobbied, for decades now. And music has the most money in the country, and that's where comedy wants to go. And we really feel, and I really believe that that's the turning point, is that once there's more money to fund all of these things, to build our profiles, then it's easier for us to move around the world and to get there. Because right now, with no support or very little, it makes it almost impossible. to do that. So yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm excited to get back to Ottawa. And yeah, I'm happy to be back involved here on the sidelines. But yeah, congratulations to everybody and Monty and everyone who's been doing so much great work for the last couple of years.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Nick. I wanted to thank. It's been nothing but a pleasure to be president of CASC for these, I guess, 3 years, and I just wanted to thank everybody, all of our members, and particularly all of the board members that have helped me, traverse something I was not very used to doing, and I was, really proud to be. I've been proud to be involved with CASC the whole time, and really proud to have been the president for the 3 years that I was. So, I think we made some good progress through some difficult circumstances, obviously the pandemic and whatnot, and in continuing to solidify us as a permanent group that's going to defend the rights of comedians in Canada for in perpetuity. So I hope I believe CASC has taken some steps in that direction. From the time I've been at the helm. So hopefully I managed to do that. And like I say, it's been a great pleasure. I'm not going to be running away to turn my back to CASC or anything like that. I'm going to be. I'll explain to you what I'm looking at doing with CASC right now and forward. One thing I wanted to say that I was really pumped happened, somewhat under my watch list as I was leaving, is the rebranding of SiriusXM to be now the SiriusXM Comedy Club. Like, that rebranding to me was something I really cherished happening during these last few years. To one of the things that kind of forged CASC was obviously a double-edged sword, is when the station had changed its branding to Just for Laughs, and over these number of years since, obviously there was a lot of outrage and problems, and we got to a tenuous kind of understanding with JFL and all that. But over these last years, it's been, everything's been going well. But it was something that we always hoped would happen, would be a change in the branding, and now, after these years, it's happened, and it's I think it's just fantastic news for us, for the community. I think it's great news for SiriusXM. I'm really, really pleased they decided to go in this direction. Because all the way through they've been incredibly supporting many comedians' careers, and I just love the idea that right now their branding is they're putting Canadian comedy forward in the spotlight, and it's really only up to us to make good comedy and give them a lot of good things, which we've always done. Give them a lot of good sets and albums and whatnot to promote, and let the whole country and everywhere around the world, hear what we're up to as comics. So I'm just thrilled. I just wanted to, thank everybody at SiriusXM that's decided to make the move. Because all the way through they've been supporting Canadian comedy, but this is I just think it's such a great, unequivocal move to be supporting us in the stand-up community. So I commend them at that, and look forward to CASC just without any hesitation, fully supporting the new branding, and it's I don't know. I just think it's fantastic for Canadian comedy. So I wanted to say that right off the top, because it was something that it was something that I was couldn't be more thrilled about. So I think it's fantastic for Canadian comedy, and all of our members, and like I say, I think it's great that SiriusXM went in that direction. I think it's great for them too. So that's just fantastic. One of the things I'm going to be working on now is looking at the possibility of P1 visas. P1 visa being going to the United States to perform, specifically to perform and come back, more or less. And it is probably the most economical way to go to the United States and perform. There's, getting an O1 visa or some of the more, residence status visas is very tough, and it takes a lot of money, and it's difficult. So P1 visas are, can be a really good way to go. Whether or not we'd be able to get that going on in CASC is a question that we're going to be putting to the immigration system, more or less, and the visa system, and seeing in which ways we might be able to do it. We don't know. We know that the possibility exists, but I don't think we're going to have to continue to see what avenues we need to take to try to get to a point where we could try and get that done. Because if we could get that done for our members, and all you'd have to do is pay for a visa that would let you in temporarily to do work, obviously that would be fantastic. And so we're working towards trying to make that possibility a reality. So that type of thing, it's not easy to do. And our first thing right now is to find out exactly what steps we need to take for it to be a real possibility. So we're in that process right now, and then from there we'll see what steps then can we take, and can we do it. So this is what I'm going to be working on, trying to figure out if we can, and then from there, if we can, how do we make it happen. So that's what I'm going to be working on as a little thing with CASC, of course, and I'm looking forward to doing that, because if we could make that happen, it would be tremendous for everybody. Lastly, I just wanted to say that in CASC, the directors of CASC, we don't pay for our memberships, since we're our pay is our memberships as far as it goes as directors of CASC. Since I've stepped down now, I'm no longer the president of CASC. I am pledging to start my membership as of this recording. So I figure the best an example is a good way to show everybody that, like, I think it's so important. All of our members are what keeps us going, and for a fairly nominal fee, you can have a group of people working towards for your best interest in this community. And I've been a freeloader for the last couple of months, but now it's time for me to step up and sign up with CASC as a member of it. So I'm doing that as we speak, and I look forward to joining you all there. So if you haven't signed up to CASC, throw it out there once again. Please do. If you're watching this video, you probably care about stand-up comedy, and I think CASC is the best avenue for everybody in comedy to have the best shake we can. So that being said, just wanted to thank everybody, every member of CASC, and like I say again, from the bottom of my heart, all the board of directors for being awesome and helping me try to steer the CASC ship as we went along, and look forward to a new president with a fresh vision and enthusiasm to take over. So I think we can't wait to have a new crop of people that want to be involved in CASC that will continue steering the ship down the river. So thank you all so much, and look forward to the rest of the meeting.
Hi, everyone. It's Drew Picklick, the fundraising officer for CASC, joining you. I'm going to throw it now to two members of UNIFOR who will be joining us. Please welcome Roxanne Dubois and Angela Drew Kimmelman.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We're very glad to be here to give you an overview of UNIFOR. You might have seen me before, because I have shared this presentation with some of you before, but it's been a little while now. So Angela, I think you're going to share the screens, and I will take it from there.
Yep.
We kind of catch the rhythm of the event here, so we're going to keep it moving quickly.
Okay, hopefully everyone sees the screen now.
Yeah, we can see. If there we go. Okay. Okay, so my name is Roxanne. I'm the executive assistant to our national president and UNIFOR, which is a new role for me. Since the last time I spoke with you, I had been for many years in our organizing department, so I'm really happy to give you a sense of who UNIFOR is and what we do. Next slide. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give you an overview. Don't know if you're catching me, Angela. Is it?
Are you not seeing the changes?
Oh, it's not showing up. Okay, I'll pull it up here so I have it. Okay, so now I can follow along. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what I'll do today is I'll give you an overview of who UNIFOR is, what is our community chapter project, which is really what we want to kind of focus on today, some of our member services. I'm going to share an example, which is the Canadian Freelance Union, which is a very active and still very involved community chapter. And then we will talk a little bit about process. So I'm hoping you can see the slides, but I'll just keep working through it. And Angela, maybe you can, maybe it's just me not seeing it. Okay. So why join UNIFOR? So just an overview. UNIFOR is a national union. We represent 315,000 members across Canada in a number of different sectors. So anything from energy to transportation, including aviation and rail, anything to auto manufacturing, telecommunications. So we represent a lot of workers in private sector workplaces and in some public sector workplaces. And we are the bargaining agent for all of these members. And so essentially when they become members of the union, usually it's a whole workplace that becomes a member, and we bargain everybody's collective agreement with them, of course. And we also fight for better labor laws, more equitable treatment of working people across Canada, and also for a world that works for working people, which sometimes, oftentimes, we don't feel like we live in. One of the things, when UNIFOR was founded, it became very obvious that there are some labor laws through which workers can organize, but that those laws are actually increasingly not covering a number of workers. And so we're talking about precarious workers, for example, anybody who works contract or freelance. Many of the work arrangements that you folks are dealing with, it means that you cannot actually go through the traditional means of organizing a union through the traditional union card process. But UNIFOR 10 years ago, when we were formed, we recognized that workers should still have a voice, should still have a way to organize, to come together in a union and to fight together for their collective interests. And so we created community chapters, which is essentially a non-traditional union for workers who wouldn't normally be able to organize. So what is a community chapter? So it's a structure within the union in which members become members of the union, but they become members without a collective agreement. So, you know, if we get into a little bit more of this conversation, I can go into the exact details of what that means, that there are some differences in terms of how we represent members in community chapters versus how we represent members with collective bargaining agreements. But essentially, you become a member of the union and you operate as an association, very similar to what you do now, but you're affiliated with their union. And so that means sometimes that you can use the UNIFOR logo if you're sending some communications to a client, for example, or maybe to a venue that hasn't been very nice to a member of yours. We have found that using the UNIFOR logo, even when we're just dealing with a freelancer contract, can go a long way. And of course, you know, you folks already work within an association, so you understand how important it is to break isolation, to make sure there's a place for everybody, members, to share realities, to identify barriers, and to work together to try and alleviate them. And of course, basically, we're stronger together through collective action. I'm going to pass it to Angela for the member services part. And I don't know if the slides are changing, Angela, based on what I'm seeing and what I'm seeing in the chat. So it's okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll just wing it.
We'll wing it. So community chapter member services, I'm sure there's been a lot of questions. What can UNIFOR provide to a community chapter member? Well, we provide political representation, support from strong local unions in all sectors. You'd have access to the union staff and departments, and that includes health and safety, research, legal, communications, human rights, etc. You would have space to organize and strategize for your community, and you'd have access to health and dental benefit plans, group, home, and auto insurance plans, and we could also help facilitate dues collection. Okay.
We can get into the details of all of that later if you have questions. And of course, even if we run out of time today, Angela and I are more than happy to answer questions afterwards, in email or in any other format. I want to share the example of the Canadian Freelance Union, which is an existing community chapter that there's a website, so you can check it out. I should know the website by heart, but I think it's just Canadian freelanceunion.ca. Yep,
you're right.
Great. And so the CFU has had about 200 members since the beginning of their time as a community chapter, and they are made up of freelancers in the media and communications sector. So they have a lot of affinity with the members that CASC would represent. In that there's some creative talent in the membership of both associations. In this case, we're talking about photographers, videographers, writers and authors, some journalists, and anybody else who works in the kind of communications and media sectors and who works freelance. So they are a very, very active chapter. They have members in every province. They have executive members in every province. And I wanted to give an example of something that they have done in the past. Freelancers, probably much like stand-up comics and the membership that you represent, sometimes have difficulty getting paid by their employer or by the client that they're working for. And so the CFU has developed a service through which if a freelancer who's a member has not been paid or has just, has been given some excuses about why the check hasn't gone through or hasn't been sent or the transfer hasn't gone through or whatever excuse it is, the CFU has a service where they will work with a member to develop a letter that will come from the union with the union's letterhead to the client and say, our member is a member, they're entitled to their pay as per the contract that you signed with them. And if they don't get paid within the next 2 weeks, we will, there's not much teeth to what a community chapter or an association can do, but the fact that there is a logo and the fact that you can word a strongly worded letter actually does recover some money. And in some cases, we recovered up to $5,000 for a single member. And so that's a really good example of what we can do when we work together. I'll let you find out more about the CFU. You can go to the website, and they have done in the past a number of different kind of outreach activities. Sometimes they do webinars on filing your taxes. Other times they do co-sharing spaces or co-working spaces where everybody can kind of work and bring their laptops and basically just having fun while building a union. I'll pass it to Angela for process.
Okay, so the process of joining a community chapter, you're probably wondering, where do we begin? So basically you have to answer a simple question. Will you join an existing association similar to the CFU, or would you start your own new chapter? Okay, so we would work through those details and questions and develop the terms of the community chapter with UNIFOR. Meetings will take place between the CASC and UNIFOR leadership, and then there would be a vote of the membership or the members in the association and whether they want to join or not. If it's a winning vote, then we would have strategic planning for the future of your community chapter.
And the only thing we'll leave you with is just to consider that you are well ahead of the game here because you already have an existing association. So in terms of the process, the conversation that happens next is that if you're interested in going down the path of becoming a UNIFOR community chapter, then we start with your association as the basis of it. Then we have a conversation about where there might be some gaps between what our program is, what a community chapter is, and what your association is. We have a discussion about how we bridge those gaps, and then hopefully we get to a place where we can welcome you as UNIFOR members to our great union, and then the interesting part also begins is that we work together to campaign. I heard Sandra talk about going to Ottawa. Our national president was just in Ottawa today sharing UNIFOR's priorities for working people ahead of the new parliamentary session. So there's a lot that we can do together to advocate for your members. You have natural connections with a lot of our members in the media sector because they work in they work in similar conditions, and there's lots of freelancers as well. And so I just want to open it that way. We're here for more information if you want more, and we're excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and if you can't see the slides, I will just stop sharing, and I will just give you my information. So if anybody wants to reach out, has any questions, you can email me or give me a call. My email is angela.drew@unifor.org. Okay. And my cell phone is 416-524-1884. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have going forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Roxanne and Angela. So now I'm just going to run through a quick FAQ with everyone because, as we've stated a few times in the past, this will be brought up for a vote, and we've heard some membership concerns. So we just want to make a couple of things clear regarding what that would look like if CASC was to join with UNIFOR. So first of all, we want to make a clear point that our affiliation with UNIFOR would in no way mean that CASC is now a union or that we have become one entity speaking for all comedians across Canada. We would remain an association that looks out for the interests of its members, and we would be more resourced, but there wouldn't be a collective bargaining agreement. There wouldn't be a single point of negotiation for all members on all behalfs. It would really more just be a way so that we can properly be resourced, apologies, to pursue the goals that we've stated, whether that be getting the P1 visa, whether that be trying to have comedy recognized as an art by the Canadian Council of the Arts. It's a way to have protections put in place for comics who may get ripped off from a venue or a promoter. It's just an added level of security and resources with UNIFOR having a membership over 300,000 across Canada. That adds some weight to it when we go into rooms in Ottawa and when we confront clubs and we confront promoters and anyone who might act in bad faith towards Canadian comedians. However, that being said, one of the conditions of joining UNIFOR would be involving an increase of our yearly membership fee. So that fee currently sits at $50 annually. UNIFOR suggests that its community chapters be well capitalized, so they would request that our fee goes up to $120 annually. So that'd be about $10 a month, not about, exactly $10 a month. And that would help to, again, cover any of the various goals and projects that CASC has in the year ahead. And 100% of those funds would come back to CASC. UNIFOR would not be taking any of that money for themselves. That money would remain with the association, and that money would be deployed towards the association's goals. But now we would have additional capital and backing from UNIFOR to pursue our projects. So if there's more questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We intend to have the vote in the coming months. And ideally, we can move forward in a stronger and better way as an association. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Drew. What's up, everybody? So unfortunately, I'm very sorry. Nick mentioned at the beginning, and that's my fault. We had a technical error, but I'm mentioning again some content. We want to get back to promoting Canadian content, and not just your content, but your events. So just like we had before the pandemic, we used to have a calendar with comedy events from all across Canada. So we're going to re-implement that. But also, we also want to share with the rest of the world your comedy. So whether it be a video, whether it be a comic strip, whether it be a meme or just a joke, we want to share once a week some comedy from a comedian in Canada. So we're going to start opening up those submissions probably in February and start a weekly beat to promote your comedy. That's what we're here for. A few dates, a few things that are coming up in the comedy scene. So the Canadian Comedy Hall of Fame, which is coming up February 21 to 24th. CASC, hopefully we're going to have a little presence of awareness down there just to let people know that this is an organization here promoting, helping, and supporting comics. And the more awareness we have, the better off we will get to our goals. TO Sketchfest, March 6th to 17th. Junos are coming up March 24th. Also the Juno Comedy Show presented by SiriusXM, which is March 22nd. And also wanted to say a few things about CanCom. So CanCom last year, they had the CanCom Comedy Symposium, which was funded by the government, and it was the first big major project that the government funded, and all the money went to comedian artists. And it was all across Canada, and CanCom has basically proved that yes, they can handle funding, and yes, we can dole it out to comedians. So this is the first basis of CanCom becoming what we always wanted it to be, was the funding apparatus for comedians. So it's well on its way to becoming that. And also coming up soon is their next round of grants. So their grants 2.0 will be coming up in the next couple of months or next few weeks. You can go to cancomedy.ca to find out when those start. And those are, again, grants to help you with your projects, whether it be a video project, maybe travel, maybe touring, depending what it is. But it's all there for comedians to help you advance and get where you want to go. And lastly, we want you to save the date, April 29th. That's going to be our AGM. And this time we're going to have it in person. It's been a while since we've seen each other in real life, touch. So we're going to do that in real life, in person, however you want to say it. April 29th, location and time to be determined. But we hope that a lot of you will come out and show your support. It will mean a great deal to us. So save the date, April 29th this year. And with that, I'm going to bring on the board and see if we have any questions here. I'll bring you back, Monty. I'll bring you back, Sandra.
Yay!
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Roxanne, you can come too.
Yeah.
You too, Angela. Everybody come on down. Yes.
I mean, I want to. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just waiting to see if there's any questions. You can put them in the comments, and if not, you can always send them to info@canadianstandup.ca, and we'll definitely relay you to Angela and Roxanne so that all your questions are answered. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I just want to reiterate, early on, Drew introduced us to UNIFOR and Roxanne, and from the beginning, Monty and I, we thought, because we were at that original meeting, that we thought this was a really great way for CASC to accelerate and reinforce our positions. And for people who are scared, there's really nothing to be scared about, because what we need is greater representation. We need greater power behind us. We're not out to put anyone down. We're just here to raise all of us up. And it's time. One of the first things that struck me, an MP who was working with us early on, Julie DeBrusen, said, she's like, look, the auto industry gets funding. They get support from the federal government. So we deserve that same support. And through all of the actions that CASC has done from day one, back in 2017 till now, which is 2024, I mean, that's quite an achievement that we're still here, we're growing, and we're only going to do bigger and better things. And, if you ever, question about getting involved, don't. Support CASC, donate to CASC. We really are the voice to the government. We have built really great, strong relationships with people. I mean, I know we're all anti-government on some level, let's be honest, but we do need those relationships to continue to build, and so that we can, create highways, as Joe says, for us around the world, so that we can, show the world what great talent is here, and really, create opportunities, build opportunities for Canadian comedians. And, we can't leave it to anybody else. Like, it's up to us. So that's kind of what I want to say. And just a note to Monty, thank you for everything that you did, and the current board, thank you for everything that you continue to do. And I love you all.
There's a quick questionnaire which I did forget to mention. Will there be an online option for the AGM? Yes, there will be. We want to reach everyone across Canada, so as much as there will be in person, there will be a live stream for everyone to catch that. So yes, there will. Anybody else have any last words?
No, other than, I'll just say that on the UNIFOR front, I think the board all feels, a tremendous value in joining with UNIFOR, but we are asking a lot of our members just in terms of an increase in fees. And so we're trying to do this as democratically and as carefully and as sensitively as possible, right? Yeah. And so that's why we really do need the support in order to move forward with this. We do need your votes, and we need to hear from as many people as possible. We need to hear your concerns. We need to hear your promotion of this, like all of those things. I can say from a financial standpoint, it would be tremendous of us to increase fees. The things that we can do, the things that we're not able to do now. Sandra kind of mentioned lobbying is sort of out of the equation right now, frankly speaking, just because we just can't afford it. And so there's so many great things that we want to do, but we have to pay for things as well, right? And running this like a business in a lot of respects. So we really do encourage you to ask questions, to challenge us, to really get in there and figure out whether this is worth it or not. Because if our members don't feel it's worth it, we're not going to move forward unilaterally as a board, right? So we really just need your participation and support. So please engage these next little while, and certainly as we near. I think we've been talking about this for a number of years, and respectfully, Roxanne and Angela have done so much for us to support us, and we really do appreciate it. But I think it's time for action. So we should probably just decide on this sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, I don't see any questions down here. So if anything, Roxanne and Angela will be passing them along to you. We're going to reshare the slideshow. We had a little glitch there, so we'll reshare that so people can really see and really understand the benefits of UNIFOR. And on that, I guess I will let everyone say goodbye, and I'll leave you guys with a membership video. Have a great night, all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Wow.
You ever wonder what you can get for $5? Not this cheesecake. Not this curry chicken. Definitely not these sneakers. Oh, what's that? You like this faux fur carpet? Too bad. You give up? Give up. It's a CASC membership. Become a CASC member for only $5 a month. Join today.